You know the answers, and you refuse to tell us the answers. So I will ask you again. You know how many shell casings were on that roof. What is the answer to that question?
I think it's pertinent.
What is the answer to that question?
I think it's pertinent to talk to you about the information that the Secret Service has and that the Secret Service knows related
I'm
to the
asking
events
you
on
an
that
answer to the question. If you're supposed to be in charge, if the buck stops with you, how come you can't share the answers? What are you covering up? What are you hiding, my friend?
I'm not covering anything up.
Then why can't you answer a simple question?
Congresswoman Lisa McClain delivers an absolutely devastating takedown of Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle in what may be the most intense congressional interrogation ever recorded. After the catastrophic failure that nearly resulted in President Trump's assassination and cost Cory Comparatore his life, Americans deserve answers. Instead, they got evasion, deflection, and what McClain exposes as a deliberate strategy to avoid accountability. Watch as McClain systematically dismantles every excuse, calls out every deflection, and ultimately asks the question everyone was thinking. You got little Alzheimer's, dementia going? This wasn't political theater. This was accountability, demanding answers from leadership refusing to provide them. The pattern is undeniable. How many shell casings were on the roof? Refer to the FBI. Were there explosives in the car? Refer to the FBI. Was the shooter acting alone? Refer to the FBI. But here's the kicker. Cheadle admits the FBI already told her all these answers, she just refuses to share them with Congress. McClain exposes this circular logic with surgical precision, revealing that this isn't about protecting investigations, it's about avoiding oversight. The director can't remember when she started preparing for the hearing, can't provide specific names when asked who she spoke with, and ultimately can't or won't answer the most basic questions about the worst Secret Service failure in decades. Let's dive into the main video.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And first of all, I want to thank the Secret Service agents, those who work tirelessly to protect our president, and specifically those agents who did not hesitate to jump in front of President Trump. And my heart goes out to the family of the Comparatore family and the people at the rally who are still recovering. On the other hand, the Secret Service has a leadership problem, and it falls on you. And although I appreciate your hollow words that the buck stops here, I was actually hoping for some answers. Director Cheadle, you must answer to the American people if you want to stay in charge. It's really, really simple. You want to keep your job, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. The best way to keep your job is to answer the questions. Not play this shell game, not sing the Slim Shady song, wasn't me? I mean, come on. How long did you prepare for this hearing?
I've been preparing for this hearing over the weekend and into last week.
Okay, 5 days, 6 days?
As soon as I was notified
And how long was that?
about this hearing,
Okay, 4 days?
I began preparing.
4 days, 3 days?
I'm not sure the date that I got the letter asking me to be here.
What are you sure of? Are you sure the color of your hair? Are you sure the color of your suit? I'm just, like, tell the American people, what are you sure of? You don't even know when you started preparing for the hearing? I mean, the biggest hearing of your life, and you have no clue? You can't remember when you started preparing for this hearing? Can you understand why those words seem hollow to the American people who are supposed to entrust their faith in you?
I assure you, the moment I received notification.
But you can't remember. You got a little Alzheimer's, dementia going? I mean, what, you can't remember.
I have several active investigations going on and an operational agency to run.
Okay. All right. But you want to take accountability, right? The buck stops with you, right?
I am taking accountability.
Super. Then let's start with trying to answer some questions. You keep referring to the FBI. When asked how many shell casings were on the roof, you referred to the FBI. When asked if there were explosives in the car, you referred to the FBI. When asked if Crooks was acting alone, you referred to the FBI. See a common theme here? I can go on and on. My question is, who at the FBI should I speak with? Wait for it. Wait for it.
The FBI is responsible for the criminal
Is there a
investigation.
name?
I'm not certain.
I'm not certain.
Who at the
All right, here we go.
FBI
I'm
is
not
running the
certain. I
investigation.
don't know. Let me ask a different question. Have you been in communication with the FBI?
Yes, I have.
With whom?
I speak with the director and the deputy director.
Okay. And what have they shared with you about this investigation? So I'll give you an opportunity to answer again. Did they share with you how many shell casings were on the roof?
They have shared with me the evidence.
Did they
they've collected.
share with you how many shell casing were on the roof?
Yes.
Okay, how many were there?
I would refer to the FBI for their
How
investigation
many were there?
and their information that they need to share in their investigation.
So they've shared the information with you, you just don't want to share the information with us, correct?
We have concurrent investigations that are going on.
So they have shared this information with you. You know the answer to the question. You just refuse to answer the question from the member of Congress who has subpoenaed you to be here. Is there a different answer to that question?
I was always willing to come here and testify before this oversight hearing.
Beautiful, then let's
Wasn't a-
do
that
that.
was
Let's
necessary.
for once have your actions match your words. So you've been in communication with the FBI. You know the answers, and you refuse to tell us the answers. So I will ask you again. You know how many shell casings were on that roof. What is the answer to that question?
I think it's pertinent
What
to talk.
is the answer to that question?
I think it's pertinent to talk to you about the information that the Secret Service has and that the Secret Service knows related
I'm
to the
asking
events
you
on
an
that day.
answer to the question. If you're supposed to be in charge, if the buck stops with you, how come you can't share the answers? What are you covering up? What are you hiding, my friend?
I'm not covering anything else.
Then why can't you answer a simple question?
I would leave it to the criminal investigation to answer questions related to that.
When you talk to the FBI and you ask them how many explosives, well, let me ask you, did you ask them how many explosives were on the roof? Did they answer that question? Or in the car, excuse me. Did they answer that question for you?
Yes.
Yes. So you know the answer to that question that my colleagues have asked you. But again, you refuse to give us the answers. You're playing this wasn't me. Well, I submit to you, if you can't, and it's not a can't, it's a won't. It's not a can't. It's not a I don't know. It's a I choose not to answer the question. Well, let me tell you, Ms. Cheadle, if you're going to lead, you need to lead. If you want to be in charge, then answer the question or step aside and have someone with the courage and the guts to answer to the American people the questions that they deserve answers to. And with that, I yield back.
The interrogation of Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle by Congresswoman Lisa McClain will be studied for generations as the gold standard of congressional oversight, a shining example of what happens when a fearless representative refuses to let bureaucratic evasion substitute for genuine accountability. This wasn't just another hearing, this was a masterclass in how elected officials should exercise their constitutional duty to hold government agencies answerable to the American people. And Lisa McClain absolutely delivered. What makes McClain's performance so exceptional is that she came prepared, armed with facts, timelines, and a clear understanding of exactly what questions needed answering. While other members might have accepted Cheadle's vague deflections and moved on, McClain recognized that the American people deserved better. She understood that when a former president nearly gets assassinated, when an innocent father dies protecting his family, when multiple rally attendees are wounded because security failed catastrophically, hollow statements about the buck stopping here are completely insufficient without concrete answers about what actually happened and why. McClain's questioning strategy was brilliant in its simplicity and devastating in its execution. She didn't need theatrical grandstanding or partisan talking points. She simply asked direct questions and refused to accept non-answers. When Cheadle claimed she couldn't remember when she started preparing for the hearing, McClain immediately recognized this as either incompetence or deliberate evasion, neither of which is acceptable from someone leading the agency responsible for protecting our nation's leaders. Her pointed follow-up, asking if Cheadle was sure of anything, even the color of her own hair or suit, perfectly highlighted the absurdity of a director who couldn't provide basic information about her own preparation for the most important testimony of her career. The Alzheimer's, dementia question that went viral wasn't crude or inappropriate as some critics claimed, it was precisely the right question at the right moment. McClain had just established that Cheadle couldn't remember fundamental details about her own recent actions, despite claiming to take full accountability. The question forced everyone watching to confront an uncomfortable reality. If the Secret Service director can't remember or won't share basic information, how can Americans trust her to lead the agency protecting our presidents? It was blunt, yes, but sometimes bluntness is exactly what accountability requires. The American people are tired of polite evasions, they want straight answers, and McClain delivered straight questions deserving straight answers.